Welcome to episode 67 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Oakes.
And my name is Brian Hines, and I was wondering if you've heard the word of OVW, and if you were interested, maybe I could bend your ear along with my colleague here.
You do. It's funny that you say that, because one of my favorite Sopranos scenes is when the sister Janice's boyfriend wakes up at Thanksgiving dinner and says, "Have you heard the good word?" And you do kind of look like Janice's boyfriend.
Oh,
that
God,
episode.
that poor bastard.
No. You're much better looking. It's really just the hair. The hair can go a long way.
If it's the hair, then, yeah, I do pity that poor guy because,
You were literally just complaining about it not 10 minutes ago.
All the time.
Yes, and yeah.
All the time.
That's actually a better way to put it, is you wouldn't go 10 minutes between complaining about it.
If my hairstyle had a name, it would be 80s telephone cord.
Yeah, I see that.
Or Bob Ross.
Long Ramen.
Yeah, there's that.
Troy Polamalu.
I wish.
I think that's like the golden standard for guys like with your haircut, like your hairstyle.
Yeah,
right?
and once upon a time I did. Like in the Woodstock 99 picture that I took back home, I had Troy Polamalu hair. It was like thick and down to my ass and like wavy, and I never should have cut it off.
Yeah, people have been telling me I'm hitting that age where I need to be more judicious about when I get haircuts, because eventually it's just not. It ain't gonna grow back.
Yeah,
but I think I'm short for the rest of my life. I think. Really, I only grow my hair long and don't cut it when I go through depressive phases. So I think that we're good. I think we're good. Tiny Brian, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm finally here.
that was it. That's all we get. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, if you're wondering why we got off the rails directly here in the first minute of the show, it's because we were stalling for time desperately for Tiny Brian to get to the chair and on the microphone so that we could introduce him here as the third voice on the podcast.
Yes.
You were literally stalling for time because I was trying to get the time clock to run.
Yeah, and right before we got on mic tonight, PS kind of scolded him about
that's the other
sitting too loudly during the talking intro part of the show, so we had to make sure we had all our asses in seats strategically. So,
except me, I could not make the clock work.
Except for you, yeah, you couldn't get the clock work.
You were kind of biblically struggling with this thing, like Greek struggle, Greek tragedy.
It has a remote, and I cannot figure out exactly where the sensor for the remote is on this clock. I finally had to just hold it up and point them one at another like I was trying to separate two cats that were fighting.
Yeah, but you did. I mean, you got the clock work. Aren't you glad you did? Clockwork Orange? It's Halloween. Come on, give me a pass.
Pin my eyes open and drip me with saline.
Today we are getting into all the action from OVWTV 1134. That is OVW Rise, as it's colloquially known, emanating live from legendary, historical Hot Point Davis Arena on October 17th, 2024. A rare one that none of us were at.
Yes, that was a rare occurrence in this past year. That's the first one we've missed since Homecoming, and maybe, I want to say
months before that.
Maybe the fourth time we've missed this year. It's less than 6. I'm almost positive of that. But we didn't make it. I had to run back to where my son lives and do some dad things. I don't know if I told you this, but I actually made it to the parent-teacher conference.
We haven't really gotten to talk.
Wow.
It's been...
I left on Thursday.
And then when Trey was here, we didn't really talk about stuff that was done because we're all hanging out with Trey, and then I haven't really seen you since then. So.
No, I haven't seen you since we had the work concert on Friday.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
Hannah Mae Rector, shout out. That's a free plug.
Yes,
that's a free plug.
She was great. It was fun to listen to.
That was really nice to just be able to keep working, but also enjoy live music at the same time.
She's got a new EP out on all of the platforms under the name Hannah Mae, MAE Rector, RECTOR.
And that was Back on Track again, correct?
Back on Track again. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
She was great. And if you're in the Lexington area, to keep this going, this is I don't like doing free plugs unless I really believe in it.
Well, to be fair, it's just payback
Right.
because she went and played a lovely lovely set for us.
For sure. But if
Yes.
you are in the Lexington area this Friday, what's the date on that? The 25th?
Sure.
Yes, that
sure.
would be right. 25th.
yeah.
The 25th, she will be playing a show at Country Boy Brewing.
Georgetown or downtown?
Downtown Lexington, Kentucky.
Well,
Excellent.
right off campus.
So maybe that's I believe that is what I have scheduled in my calendar to do on Friday night. So if you're in the Lexington area, you like some good country and some great covers that are kind of approached from a different way. And I really think here I'll digress.
Oh, sure.
She's a really immensely talented musician, really immensely talented singer. Covers are just kind of like what you have to do.
To get people's attention.
Right. These are some high quality covers.
Yeah.
Come for the covers, stay for the original stuff.
Yeah. In terms of covers, the thread count on these is through the roof, kids.
And
I
she
like
was able
that.
to.
Yeah, I like
she was
that.
able to just take requests too, which was very nice.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
cool was that?
Yeah, so I don't know if that'll be what she does at Country Boy necessarily, but yeah, there is a couple things we shouted out and she picked it right
Yeah,
up.
right
So
there.
yeah, Hannah
What's
Mae
that
Rector.
name again?
Hannah Mae Rector. Hannah with an H at the end. MAERECTOR on all of the streaming platforms. Back on Track Again, the new EP.
Correct.
Hey, speaking of back on track again,
Look at that segue.
we have a big. Well, we've already sort of talked about this. We talked about it on Fanzone Live.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Victor came. It is now an inked deal.
yes,
The poster is out.
Do we happen to have the poster for
We
our
don't.
box?
We'll have it for
we don't.
Wednesday.
Okay.
We're unofficial now, so we don't have the magic.
Oh, the
screen.
magic box
The
doesn't
magic
exist
screen.
in this
Yeah,
universe.
Al
Yeah.
lent us the before he went away. He lent us the magic screen. So
But yes, we do have a poster, which will probably
we've shared on ours.
we've shared it on ours, and we will share it again. But we have the OVW Bourbon Brawl coming up, and that is sponsored by our day job company. And that is Divine Spirits.
We used to have a sign up on the wall. Probably going to put that back shortly because they are kind of a sponsor around here.
Yeah.
Early on, we did have their sign up here, and
Really?
yeah. Go back and look at some of those early videos. You'll see it right there hung up.
I didn't know that there were any early videos. I thought it was all audio.
Nah, there's some videos.
Oh,
if
so
go
you
back and
lied.
Yeah, there's
look. Yeah,
some.
I'm a big liar.
It's we are a different set of cats from a year ago. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Go
for
back
real.
and rewatch some of those videos.
Or not.
Yeah,
There's been
actually,
some people actually going
don't.
back and re-listening. Because
I am so sorry, guys.
Yeah, we just like to. If you're here from those, we're sorry.
Actually, no. Here's the thing: if you were going back and re-listening, first off, thank you. That
Yeah.
that
Thank you
means
so
that
much.
means a lot to us, and I think I'm speaking for all of us. Like, we've put an immense lot of work into this thing, and it is so cool that you want to go back and listen to old stuff, like listen to stuff that happened a year ago. Hear our takes on maybe some of your favorite moments in Ohio Valley Wrestling in the last year, right? I think that's great. Second off, sincerely, for me more than the rest of these guys, non-ironically, I am sorry. I was really, and I still have a tendency to do that, have fun, whatever. But there are some things that when I go back and listen to them and some of these episodes, I am genuinely upset at myself, and I
don't know if it's that bad, man.
Man, well, it's just it's an interesting time capsule for me personally. Some of those early episodes and some maybe going into like January, February of this year, where I was at the time and how it was coming across, how it was translating into this character or this host of this show or even on my radio show. It's just an interesting time capsule for me. So I do want to say to any of those people going back, like, thanks for sticking with us. And yeah, we have improved our skills beyond belief around here. So thanks for all the downloads.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, that's the reason why I haven't gone back and listened to the older stuff. In the beginning, I did, which is something that I wouldn't do because I didn't really like the sound of my voice, and
Right.
I'm still not like the biggest fan of it. But when I listened to the first couple, it was like, okay, this is rough, but I don't hate it, and I had a good time doing it. And here we are over a year later, and we've got the Bourbon Brawl.
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
To get things back on track again.
Haname Record.
So that is at Bourbon. That is at Bourbon County High School.
And it supports the Bourbon County Band because they're, I don't know if you've heard, but they're pretty badass.
They're the bee's knees.
Yeah.
Yes.
The cat's pajamas.
I have heard this before. And to paraphrase from Victor, some schools got basketball, some schools got football. Bourbon County has band. And they are, I can't even go into specifics because I don't recall them off the top of my head, but they are highly decorated.
They have marched in the last 5 years. They marched in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
And they performed at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they won nationals for their division and size.
It is absolutely insane to me that these nationals are happening at a football stadium.
An NFL stadium?
An NFL an
Band
NFL
is super popular.
I know, but like that is some drawing power.
Yeah.
And the Bourbon County High School Band, like some of those guys, the only other person that is is Al Snow, knowing like what it's like to be in a football stadium.
Yeah.
Like these kids are having that experience performing at a football stadium that's packed as 14-year-olds. Which is absolutely insane. But it is in support of that band. Really happy for them. Really happy for them. Shout out Isaiah. That's our link to the band.
Yes.
Always happy to have OVW close to home as well.
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. We love that drive to Louisville, but we love when the guys come down here, and we hope to get some fresh interviews for you on that day as well.
OVW's entire OVW's entire legacy is about supporting and finding the best young talent, and now they are bringing that to the band world. Yeah.
And chair shots. That is their other legacy.
So let's get on into what else is happening around the world of OVW shows and live shows.
So does that mean we do the tour update?
Let's do the Such As It Is tour update.
Okay. Well, if you happen to make it to a live OVW show and we are unable to make it, please post your pictures and tag us in them, or send them to us so we can share them with the rest of the OVW fan zone. We would love for people who can make it to those remote shows to be able to share their experience with those of us who aren't able to go to any of the various shows on the weekends. But for now, we've got every Thursday OVW Rise, Hot Point Davis Arena at 6:30 p.m. Doors open at 6:15.
I believe that's
correct.
correct.
I
believe that's correct.
correct.
We shall have to possibly reach out to Joe Cooley or somebody to
I
confirm,
feel,
but I think that's
honestly,
right.
and I might be speaking out of my ass here, but I feel like doors open at 6. First match is 6:15, and
because they still do some dark matches before Overdrive.
Yeah,
that's where we saw Cowpoke, what's his name, and the Human Whatser.
Listen, that boy, and then apparently the week that I didn't go, he was a different character. Is that right?
He was a different cowboy.
Yeah, no.
Oh, he was still a cowboy though. Same outfit.
He
but
was
they
still a
named him
cowboy,
different?
but he was like yeehaw something or another.
Oh my!
I liked him.
Oh yeah, I did too.
He's
the only thing missing was if he would have had the word Andy written on his boot, he would have had a friend in me.
He did. Yeah, I have some similarities to everyone's favorite digitally created cowboy.
There's a snake in my boot.
There is.
No, I liked that boy. And here's the thing I liked about that boy. We usually don't cover the pre-show here.
But that's fine. We got an hour.
Is he was so dedicated to like the silliest thing. What happens when he gets something that's not silly? Much like Cal Hero, the fanny pack kid, the good time come out to Wham guy. What happens whenever he gets a huge bite to chew, right?
I don't want to know.
I do.
I'm excited.
I'm happy just hanging out like whenever it's match time. It's like, hey, there's Cal Boakes, such and such.
What's the other weird one? Because the night that the whole locker room was thrown out when Revolution first took over, this dude was just in the crowd of wrestlers at ringside, and I was like, "Who is that shepherd man?" Turned out he was a cowboy.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
No, I think he tended a little more shepherd that night.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun. It was not intentional. But he looked a little more shepherdly that evening.
But it was the same dude.
Yes,
And
I believe
mostly
so.
the same. I think he had like a poncho on. Like one of those woven ponchos that made him look more shepherdy.
like the man with no name.
Yes.
From the Dollars trilogy.
I used to have a roommate in college that wore a lot of ponchos.
You sure did.
I did.
I used to wear a lot of ponchos. This was
I'm not surprised.
But I'll digress. We'll tell those stories
This
later.
is a 20-year-old Jackman look, legit. Skinny jeans, ankle boots, poncho, cowboy hat. This is a button-down Oxford underneath. This is a legit.
Were you acting out that one scene in Groundhog Day where him and the chick go to the movies?
I had just gotten into westerns in a huge way.
Ma'am.
Really.
Like you were cast?
It was the Lord.
No,
Sounds
like
like you were cast in a Western.
There was a long period of a young Jackman's life where everything he wore was kind of a costume. Like, it's just but that was the 6 months of,
Western Jackman.
yeah.
So basically you're Barbie. You just have a bunch of different versions of you over the years.
This
There's
is
Cowboy Jackman and DJ Jackman and podcast host Jackman.
This is Cape Cod Jackman.
Ooh.
Carson Drake's favorite Jackman.
Yeah,
Little
me and
forward.
Carson live next to each other.
In the summers only, right?
If you're listening on audio,
There's
go
no
check
reason
out.
to be in Cape Cod other than when it's in the summer.
Okay. So I guess that Vandalay Industries money is treating you pretty well, too.
I'm doing well.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm glad.
In this outfit,
Yeah.
I'm doing well.
Check the video to see that outfit on our YouTube channel. And by the way,
Just like all those moms did on UK's campus earlier. Shout out, ladies. I could tell. I could tell you were checking me
it's
out.
parent weekend here.
We'll
here at
file
the
that under
University.
B for burn.
Wow.
I can tell you were checking me out, ladies. It was nice.
Um,
it was a great conference, and I saw an asteroid today.
Really?
I got a raise.
Technically, you
got
saw a
checked
comet.
out by a bunch of moms, and saw an asteroid.
A comet.
A comet.
Wow. You should, buy a lottery ticket or something.
Dude, I know I'm having a great day.
Yeah. Knocking it out of the park.
And I look like hot too.
Not to toot your own horn.
Now
so
we
to
got to
speak.
get these video
Yeah,
clicks up. We got to
so-
get these video views up. I got to start doing something.
So I do think we'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. If you've not done it, please go over youtube.com/@OVWPodcast.
How many do we have? Is it like 6?
We're a long way away.
We're 107, I think.
It's like 115. It's like 115.
Okay, yeah. So we'd love to
Okay.
get to 1,000. If we can, when we get to 1,000, if we can do it in sort of a timely manner, I think I'm going to get a tattoo. Something to show the fans just how much we appreciate their support. So,
I will also get a tattoo to show the fans how much I appreciate the support.
Well, I just got a new tattoo back in April. And if I can come up with the money to get another one, I think that would be great.
We'll cover this one.
Will?
Yeah, this will be. Don't worry.
we'll find a way.
We'll find a way for this one.
Well, all right.
Well, and cough,
Then-
cough.
If we can get
Cough, cough. One of the ways that we could do that is when you hit 1,000 on YouTube, you get to monetize. So, one of the
Cough,
ways
cough.
that maybe we
Oh.
could pay for that tattoo. And
so I will
listen,
get
guys,
an actual OVW podcast tattoo. Let me just be clear. I'm not going to
I
get it just like
I
that.
will also get an OVW podcast tattoo.
Okay, stealing my thunder, but that's excellent.
Well,
I
we're
actually
going to go 3 for 3 then.
It's not what I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm trying to do a little peer pressure so that there's a lot of stake on the table. A lot of stakes on the table for the listeners.
And you know how I feel about steak.
That not spelled the same way. Same letters, not spelled the same way.
So I did glance
Still
at
delicious.
Malachi, PS over here to see if he was down to make it a 4-way. He's not.
No.
So, but that's fine.
And that's fine.
Maybe we'll get Victor.
Maybe we'll get a 6-pack of strawberry cider and ask the question later.
So youtube.com/@OVW podcast. And don't forget on Wednesday nights, you can find us on YouTube at OVWTV, where these guys host OVW Fan Zone Live.
And
where
Fans talk back. And
I-
that's the only night we are official, kids.
I do want to say too that going from just over 100 to 1,000 is a lot, guys. It's a big ask, and it is ultimately kind of feels like an impossible ask. But anything you can do that you think would help, whether it be just tagging us somewhere or just I don't know how the digital things work. Obviously, it's been stated 1,000 times before on the show. I'm not on social media, but anything you think you could do to get us there, we will we will throw a pizza party. We will throw a pizza party right here if we hit 1,000, and we'll get the tattoos that night live on the show.
Wow.
This got ridiculous and big really quick.
Yeah. Now I gotta find a way to put tattoo artists in here.
And I'm fine with that.
This is called stakes, fellas. And there's OVW knows all about them. The fans of OVW know all about them. They wouldn't be watching Ohio Valley Wrestling week in and week out if they didn't care about what could happen. This is stakes for us. Pizza party is all promise. Pizza party with fans, tattoos live on air, et cetera, et cetera.
And the steaks are well done.
No, they're
medium
well.
No, I'm sorry, rare.
So why don't we,
Blue.
you guys want to do a little business and then get into this week's episode?
Are you talking about finishing the tour update?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Let's finish the tour update.
Yeah, that thing we started to do and then we didn't do.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
So
we haven't seen each other like all week too. I think that's part of it.
And even though we all worked together in the same building today, I haven't talked to you.
Nope.
I've seen you from across the room, but that's it.
So,
But
yeah,
I
think we're
digress.
just
Where can people see the stars of Ohio Valley Wrestling?
It's funny that you ask because I have a list right here. Every Thursday, you can catch OVW Rise at Hot Points Davis Arena at 6:15 p.m. HawkCon at Pike Central High School in Pikeville, Kentucky on October 26th at 8 p.m. OVW Pay-Per-View Reckoning on November 2nd at Hot Point Davis Arena. That is a Saturday night. And if you are just tuning in, it is the OVW Bourbon Brawl at Bourbon County High School, November 9th, 2024. All tickets for all of these shows, all of these events, you can get them at OVWTix.com. But something just occurred to me while I was reading this.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bourbon Brawl is coming up.
Right.
And we're sponsoring that.
Well, Divine is, but yes.
Divine is, yes. But we all work for Divine.
We do.
So, ipso facto, this event is technically the first unofficial event. Can we say that?
We're unofficially involved.
We're unofficially saying it's unofficial, even though
we're going to talk about it a whole bunch here on the shows of the OVW podcast.
And we've got some other things in store, but as
May
far
have
as
some
that
surprises
goes,
coming, but you know.
On that note, it would mean a lot for us and be a very big deal for us in a lot of different ways if we could pack that night, guys.
Absolutely. So why don't we take a break, and we will come back and we will get into this week's Rise.
right after this.
Right after this.
All right. So around here at the OVW podcast, we've been growing a lot. We've been doing a better job. It feels like each and every week we come in and out of here doing a better job. It's just starting to get to the point, though, where the zeros are getting further to the right in terms of what the funds that we've been needing to continue to bring this great content week in and week out.
Which means that there are opportunities for potential listeners who have things that they want to share with the audience, with friends of theirs, their goods and services. We could talk about those on our show.
We're talking about plain and simple sponsorships. We talk about plain and simple sponsorships. We have a great reach here, ironically enough. We do have a great reach for a little small wrestling podcast based out of Lexington, Kentucky. We know for a fact that on our Wednesday night show that we drove several families to several different locations in and around Pikeville when they were visiting for OVW Fight Night.
That's right.
So we do have not only a pretty good base for Central Kentucky and Louisville, but a dedicated one, and one that will spend their time and their money on the things that they hear about here on this program.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's probably good to note that we are going to be able to do advertising space both here and on FanZone Live.
And FanZone Live, that has OVW's television. We're trying to get to 1,000. OVWTV on YouTube has blown way past 1,000.
They have 70 or 80,000 people.
Like a bajillion. That's like a lot.
And that's also about 1,000 different eyes on your product and your sponsorship per week on top of what we have here at our podcast, our built-in audience from the podcast.
That's right.
So if anybody's interested, listen, I think that I've never wanted to do this, guys. I've never wanted to do sponsorships. I'm very weird with sponsorships. I'm very weird with merchandise. You guys know this about me. I have some weird philosophies. I think that we are doing this the most right way humanly possible in terms of what we're asking for and what we're going to be able to do for our clients.
Yeah.
So reach out to us.
Direct, just DM us, guys.
Just DM us. We're on all the social media.
We've been doing this for a year, and we've built up a fair head of steam. People seem to like us because,
well, let's be honest, they seem to like you.
As you've been told, you're the mouthy one, and people get a kick out of that. They think you're a hoot, and I'm cute. So there's that.
That's kind of the dynamic around here. If you guys haven't picked up on that,
Yeah.
But without further ado. DM us. We would love to work with you guys, and we would love to come to an agreement that is fortuitous for everyone involved. Now back to the OVW podcast already in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. And now to get into this week's episode of OVW Rise, number 1314. Please welcome once again your hosts, Brian Hines and Jackman Oaks.
All right.
Hey.
Started off hot this week. Started off hot. HAWT, capital H. Hot this week.
Boy, I tell you what.
It was hot.
The OVW Women's Championship is on the line as soon as we open the show.
Yeah, it sure is. And you can tell that the stage is being set for an epic battle by the new lighting.
I'm still not over the new lighting. I said, I think 2 weeks ago that I would be.
No.
We're never getting over
no,
this.
No, it's so dope, guys.
Look at how cool it makes stuff look. Like right now as we're doing this, we've got it queued up to the beginning where Eric Cornish is introducing Angelica Risk and J-Rod, as well as the referee. I want to say her name is Alice.
I'm not sure off the top of
Watch
my head.
the competitors as he's announcing them, how they're how the other one stays out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
When the one's being, like, the choreography is getting there with all of it in the ring.
In terms of the lighting choreography.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I really can't get over this, and I think it's so cool to it gets you in the mood right away for the start of the show. The past few weeks we've seen a lot of kerfuffle at the start of the show. We haven't gotten a lot of steak with our sizzle, right?
Yeah.
And it's been fun, but this is steak and sizzle right here at the beginning.
Yeah.
We have been getting a lot of good matches first match.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the last month or so.
This is, ever since Homecoming, this has been the model. But you're right. We didn't have to immediately start with a 20-minute ringside sketch, so that was nice.
Yeah.
That'll come next.
A dug off.
Well, that's a new term that we're going to use forever. So what do y'all think of this
Yeah,
match?
the opening of this show was Douglas.
It was.
Hey, I don't want to hear that. Mine was better than yours. So.
The Revolution was of course represented by J-Rod, the women's champion, against the newly minted number one contender Angelica Risk after she won that tournament. I thought that here's what I loved. First off, I thought that they gave this match room to breathe. You don't really get that. I thought that this was a main event anywhere in the country, but it was the opening match here tonight, right?
Yeah.
This was
25,
26-minute match.
Yes, great. Fantastic. And again, kind of as I've touched on before, I've wanted to see more and more of J-Rod. To be honest, we haven't seen her. We saw her really big, thing that she did at the beginning was a stipulation match, a street fight, right? That was really the only time we'd seen her. She beat Layla Gray, and she won that thing, but those are all multi-man matches and then a stipulation match. I don't think we've really gotten a
straight up one-on-one.
A nice, showcase of what all she's capable of. And we certainly got one in this half an hour long match with Angelica Risk.
Yeah, you said something about this match having a room to breathe. It was almost like a fine wine in that sense. You pop the cork on it with the lighting and Eric Cornish introducing everybody, and then the bell rings and you just let it go. And that's what they did. And as far as singles matches goes for either one of these ladies, super proud.
I think the argument could be made for both of them. Definitely J-Rod for me, and to a lesser extent Angelica. But I think there's a strong argument for Angelica. This is the best match we've seen from any woman.
Yeah.
The entire time they've been here.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it.
And I think that Angelica is really in a time where I think maybe the women's division has needed a new baby face that can be consistently available. Angelica has rose to that occasion.
Really? You think?
Well, here's the thing: is Layla left? She was a babyface,
Right.
and she was a new one at that
For 15 minutes.
Yeah, she was a new one at that. She left. Haley is less and less like consistent, like just because she's getting bigger opportunities, so she can't be written into storylines.
Sure.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Freya's going from kind of straightforward babyface to kind of tweener badass.
Yeah, she's going rogue. She's got her whole other thing going on.
And so I just think that, and then like Sophia Rose is great. I just don't think that she's at the point where like she needs to be women in the women's championship, conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, she gets plenty of pop whatever she's doing.
Exactly.
She doesn't need to be in there to get a pop.
I just don't think that she's there as a character yet. And Angelica Risk, though, comes fully formed and is very over. And
the new stink face things she's doing.
Yeah, and I think is right there to be a baby face at the top of the women's division.
Oh.
So that's just not it's not J-Rod's or Angelica Risk night though, unfortunately.
No, but it sure as hell wasn't for lack of trying.
Well, and here's the thing though, is the pin goes through, right?
In quotation marks, in air quotes.
I'm going to be very curious to see what they do with this one because it, to me, on commentary, felt like a clear pivot. Not a...
in terms of the narrative?
Yes. For me on commentary, that felt like a clear pivot and not something that was there maybe prior to it being a actually legitimate mistake.
Are you talking about a couple weeks ago with Freya?
No, I'm talking about
what are you talking about?
The questionable pin for Angelica tonight.
Yeah.
They
do you think? Well, it took them a minute to figure it out, to be sure.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's what makes me feel like it was a pivot and not
an observation.
Yes.
Well, we do know that this is the second contested pin that and that our dear friend J-Rod has amassed for herself in her short tenure here with OVW.
Well, and I'm not trying to muckrake. Like, I'm more than happy to be getting worked. But for me, there was just something eerie on commentary. It was the lapse of time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually those three, and Kennison, is seriously one of the greatest commentators going. Like, he has a special talent, but he's also built a great desk. And usually those three would be on something if it was storyline narrative. It was this weird amount of time in between them. They were going, what?
You can kind of see them kind of think. Yeah, Kennison caught it almost immediately if you listen closely. And then it takes the others. He kind of has to. I bet you can almost hear him conferring with them and being. This is a moment
for me. I could almost hear Al yelling.
Someone, yeah.
I mean,
if he were there, but he's not because.
No, this is the unofficial show, guys. This is where we get dirty.
Right.
This is where we get dirty.
At any rate, this is when OVW would truly benefit from an instant replay system. This is one of those moments that it really felt like we needed to see that pin one more time for them to be able to.
That's something I low-key appreciate when it comes to wrestling is the instant replay. And when I say that, I'm not talking about constantly flashing back through a match.
WCW loved that instant replay.
There are somebody in one of the bigger companies that loves that too, and it drives me nuts. It's a 3-hour program, but there's only an hour and a half's worth of actual content, which is not like what you get at OVW. I wish they had a couple of playbacks here and there, but generally I'm glad that they do not do that.
I would be very curious to talk to someone at OVW to know what would have to go into it, technologically speaking, to have the capacity for instant replay. Like, how far away are they right now? What's the next investment? What's the next move to be able to have that capacity?
Maybe we can find someone to talk to and try to figure out from a production standpoint kind of where they're headed.
I would just be genuinely curious because I know nothing.
Yeah, I don't even really know much about how to get an instant replay to work.
So maybe we can figure that out. Maybe that's a topic we can mull over at a later date. All right, so Doug comes out for his monologue. This is what's been happening. This is what we do now, right?
We need to get him a curtain that he can stand in front of, and when he's done talking, he can make his imitation golf shot.
So the leather curtain?
Oh, the leather curtain sounds like a book about Doug.
Sounds like a
instead of like behind the iron curtain, it's behind the leather curtain.
Pass through the leather curtain.
The Doug Basham story.
No, I feel like really it's I don't even want to say what I was
Let's
say.
not then. If you're hesitating,
Let's go ahead and get some mental hand sanitizer and move along to the
Even
next
wanna
match.
say.
How about that?
Honestly, I think the concept might have been a little too high. I think I wasn't going to nail the landing. So
Okay.
So Doug addresses the Carter in the room, or not in the room, because he's never in the room.
the Carter,
Yes.
Lil Wayne's classic quintuplet set of releases.
I'm sorry. What's the EC3, Ethan Carter III.
The Carter 3 was his highest selling album.
Ah, good to know.
Okay.
6 million units in a week, guys. That's huge.
That is huge. It didn't come up in this moment.
Oh,
EC3
Nope.
was the main topic of conversation.
right.
And that national heavyweight championship title.
Yeah, and
Y'all remember that? That was so pretty. I haven't seen it in months and months.
wait, what?
The national heavyweight championship.
I saw it for about 30 seconds before 8 dudes stepped on it.
That is true. I hope it's okay.
I'm sure it's fine. It's gold and all, and it doesn't have feelings, so I'm sure it's cool. But so in the middle of this monologue that Doug is going on and on and on about, he puts a $10,000 bounty on the national heavyweight title coming to the Revolution. So he's going to dip into the Uncle Doug's Leather Fund and throw out $10,000 if somebody can bring that belt to the Revolution.
That is a massive. Doug has been on a tear of doing this. Every time we have a stipulation added on, or it's a title match, it's quintuple the winner's belt. It's this, it's that, and now we've added a $10,000 bounty to the National Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, this is in the kayfabe hierarchy of OVW, of Ohio Valley Wrestling. That is the highest belt.
The national?
Yes.
It is, in fact, the pinnacle of OVW championship gold.
The Ace of Pentacles?
Yes.
Okay.
And also the pinnacle.
Yes, it is because the national, technically as a heavyweight champion, you are the number one contender to the national heavyweight championship, even though they're not abiding by that particular rule in this moment.
Right. Well, and I mean, I guess they be an easy way to pivot out of the situation they found themselves in terms of EC3. But what do I know?
We have another solution. What did he end up doing there, Brian?
So, in the middle of going on about putting a bounty, the quick picker upper on EC3, Will Austin comes to the ring and he's like, "Hey man, what's up with this?" And then, he's trying to talk about how he works harder than everybody else in the locker room. And I used to know somebody who was like that. He actually said one time, "I can honestly say I'm the hardest working man that ever lived," and we laughed so hard when he said that.
Dog,
but that's
you've
the
got
kind
to
of
be absolutely delusional in real life to say that. You have to be absolutely delusional.
wait until we get off mic because I got plenty
Unironically.
of stories from the
Oh
LVC
my
kid.
gosh.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So,
gracious.
in the middle of this, Will Austin comes out. He's like, "I work harder than everybody else." And then Superior Tony Evans and Jay De Niro come out and, a quick trip around the salad bar, that loaded baked potato glove, blammo. So
Finally
now
worked for the first time in months.
it was in the shop.
Glad to see
It needed to be repaired. It needed to be reloaded, as a matter of fact. But long story short, now there is a fatal four-way for the national heavyweight title featuring EC3, Jay De Niro, Hush, and
That's
Will
Tony
Austin.
Evans, folks.
Are you sure?
I mean,
Hush. Anyway. So there we are at the not Hell Night, the Reckoning.
Yes.
On November 2nd, we are having a fatal four-way where if somebody can win EC3's belt and bring it to Revolution, they get 10,000 simoleons.
So do we think this is finally when EC3 drops this belt?
No.
God, it would have to, wouldn't it be? I mean, they already busted his ass and kicked him out of the Revolution once. If he makes it through this match and he's like, I'm feeling better, do you think they're going to be like, yeah, okay, we rethought this and you and your hair are cool again? It's fine. Just come hang out with us. Shannon the Dude will still think you're cool, and we all think you're cool now. We're not going to beat your ass again. Do we think that's going to happen? I don't know. I don't think so. But what do I know? Nothing.
Neither do I. I've said that since day one. If you are going back through and listening to the podcast, that's about the only thing that is still consistent, is we all admit that we know nothing still.
Yep.
But for me, and God bless all those guys, which one of them is going to beat EC3? Which one of them from the storyline is built to the point, other than Tony, because there's an argument to be made that he's the only heavyweight champion there.
True.
But
that is true.
I
and
mean,
he does have a score to settle with EC3 after getting dicked over in front of the waterfront.
that's
So there's that.
whenever I hear anybody getting dicked, I don't think about it like that. But I see what you're saying. That's PG-13 Malachi. That's PG-13 Malachi.
That is a term for a private detective. So
It's also
there you go.
a term for
yeah.
quiet storm
anyway.
hour.
So
and
what about
things
Jay
to be
De
done
Niro?
during it.
I mean, we've been
just
waiting
don't-
for Jay's profile to step up for a year now.
And we've already kind of thought that at some point there was going to be a split between he and the superior one. So I kind of feel like it's going to head in that direction somehow.
And listen, I love all those guys. I would love for any one of them. I would love for anybody to take the belt off of EC3. It doesn't matter.
Please.
From a storyline perspective and what we know that in OVW's point of view about the way that those guys are portrayed, which one of them could beat EC3?
Tony Evans.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think that honestly, if anybody wins at this point, I've talked myself into Jay De Niro being the most likely one and that's the point of the thing, is Tony Evans wants him to cheat to help him win, and he says, MFer, I'm not doing that.
For 10
I'm taking
grand?
my opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is honestly if belts change hands, that is the most logical thing. And if Jay De Niro wins the National Heavyweight Championship, I will get a tattoo, a separate one
Of the loaded baked potato glove.
of whatever Jay wants. That's not I'm not getting a dick tattooed on me. Okay, I'm not getting like bodily excrement tattooed on me. But if we could come to some sort of agreement, Jay, I'll just get your logo.
Well, there you go.
That'd be interesting. Let's move on to
that's something.
Let's move on to the only match of the evening that is not a championship match. Which I think this is the only time this has ever happened.
Wait. We got to back up.
What?
You skipped stuff, kid.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Shannon the Dude and Doug Basham backstage.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then who sneaks in?
Our boy.
It's our favorite human thumb, Adam Revolver. And he steals the radio championship, which I think is hilarious.
If they are going toward Adam Revolver versus Shannon the Dude, I'm actually very excited because Adam Revolver trains Shannon. And he's going to know exactly what Shannon can and cannot do and going to be able to really engage with Shannon's abilities in a really special way.
That's going to be a very satisfying match if we get to see that.
If that's where we're headed,
Yeah.
that would be
One can surely hope.
that would be so cool. That would be a lot of fun because I also love just like the meta, storyline. As a wrestling fan, you're always looking for the second thing, too. I love father versus son. I'm sorry, teacher versus student.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, if we do actually get to see this, for me, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be not one, but 2 thumbs up.
You're
Anyway.
right. I am sorry that I tried to skip over that because that was delightful.
Now let that be a lesson to you. Anyway, Hollywood Haley J versus Freya the Slaya. You were right. There is no titles. It's just one-on-one. Freya's got a chip on her shoulder these days, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, she took it out on Haley for sure. Haley was hurting at the end of this match.
And did the classic wrestling thing where as soon as J-Rod appears, Freya lost all focus, which did allow Haley to sneak in and get the win.
She smacked her around a little bit, and then boop, 1, 2, 3, we're done.
And it looks like, after the Haley takes the pin here, that she wants a piece of J-Rod as well.
Either that or she wants to be friends with J-Rod. She sits on the ropes and invites her in, but that's just normal wrestler bravado.
Yeah.
I
want
think
some,
there may
come
be,
get it.
Yeah, I think there may be a possibility that Freya might be, or Haley might be courting the notion of joining the Revolution.
No.
Are you suggesting something? Do you listen? Let's pull the curtain back.
Are
Have
you
you heard
threatening me?
something?
What?
No. Have I heard something in particular about this? No, I've not.
Okay.
I do not have a specific source.
For
or
me,
anything.
what a waste of the goodwill from Haley. Haley is the most over babyface that a company could ask for. It would be akin to when they turned Stone Cold heel at the height of his career.
Do you think it would be like Stone Cold in that they would simply refuse to turn him heel and just let him continue to be babyface?
No, they turned him heel. They turned him heel. He joined McMahon. He turned heel. The entire project of the Stone Cold was predicated on that Mr. McMahon and Stone Cold did not get along. Whenever he joined Mr. McMahon, he was a heel, and he fizzled out. Nobody wanted to see it. Nobody wanted to see it, and I think the same thing could be said, quite honestly, about Hollywood Haley J as a heel in OVW right now. I don't think anybody wants to see it.
No.
I mean, it's just like you can't ask for. Between Cal and Hollywood, you could not ask for people with more goodwill inside of a wrestling organization. Those are 2 people you have to protect really, really finely. Like you have to look at every decision you make with them with a fine-tooth comb because they've done such a good job of building goodwill with everybody. Cash is probably the same thing, but I think Cash could turn heel anytime and people would eat it up. That's the difference.
I agree with you there as far as that goes, but as far as the other 2, the only other people I know that have more goodwill than them is me because I buy everything at Goodwill.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of goodwill.
This is goodwill. This is goodwill. This is goodwill.
This is goodwill. This is goodwill. These glow-in-the-dark kicks, these Halloween shoes that I'm wearing, these are goodwill too. So
I got these at Zoomies.
What I'm saying is you don't need to go to the Goodwill. Just stay out of the Goodwill. There's nothing good there. You should just throw all the cool stuff that you don't want anymore to Goodwill, specifically like the one in Maysville or the one on Leestown Road.
One on Leestown Road would be preferred.
Yeah.
I think for everyone involved here.
But anyway, I digress. We got to get back to it because we got an hour.
Actually, the one on Leestown Road in Lexington, Kentucky sucks. Don't ever shop at that one.
No.
It's horrible.
No,
just donate your stuff there.
Just donate your stuff there.
Yeah, donate your stuff, but don't walk inside.
Because they need more cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything cool right now.
No, not at all. But anyway,
let's move on, shall we?
Let's move on.
We got an hour.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
we got an
now
hour,
used
but
most
we have an hour.
It's hard though whenever we have so much interesting stuff to say.
I know, and it's yeah, it is. It's hard to be interesting.
So
I wouldn't know.
So the whole rest of this episode is you're interesting, Brian. Don't say that.
It's interesting that you say that.
Yeah, the whole rest of this episode, we're going to set up a framing device right here for the whole rest of it, which is fun.
Oh,
It's
okay.
spinning the wheel and making the
Oh
deal.
yeah.
Giving us as
The
Doug
whole
Basham-
second hour is like spin the choice, man. They're starting it out early. I love it.
Yeah, they started out at the main event of hour one even. So
Yeah.
You you like to celebrate Halloween early and often.
Yeah, I sure do.
And it seems as if Doug Basham does too by giving us a little bit of a sneak preview of what we can expect through Halloween Hell Night through all of majority of the show really here.
Yeah.
starts with Cal and everybody coming out to for a little gripe fest.
As it does, as it has these past few weeks.
It started off with Cal going off on Doug, and then Cash comes out and supports Cal, and it's like, we think that they should be investigating you because of all the things that you've done. And then Beaches and Cream come out, and then Doug comes out and reveals a taste of
Super
what
Z
is to
comes out
come.
first.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. He does. That's right. But then Doug comes out and shows us what we have in store for us on Halloween, and that is the spooky wheel of spinning the choice or whatever it is. What's it called? I can't remember.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Halloween Hell Night. Got a kind of a sneak preview of not only the concept of Halloween Hell Night, but what some of the things we might be able to expect are as we're going through the stipulation,
the randomizer,
page. Yeah, the
stipulation
randomizer,
page.
yeah.
The randomizer.
Right.
Don't forget the quote.
Randomizer.
The wheel,
Yeah, the wheel.
essentially.
Right.
So I think that we had a lot of fun tonight. I think
Yeah.
that this was kind of. I wonder what led to this. The stipulation of the whole Hell Night being basically having two of them not 2 weeks from each other. I wonder what was the decision-making process was to bring this out tonight, a little bit. But I had a lot of fun watching the matches. That's really all that matters.
Well, yeah. I wish we would have been there in person, but it was one of those deals where we just didn't make it. You can't make them all. But I heard a couple things, like after this was over, our friend Matthew sent me a text and told me about some things that happened later, and I told him I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it for me. But this episode is like when you go out to dinner with your friends, and the waiter or waitress comes, and they're like, so can I get you guys started with something? And then like you order the sampler platter for the table.
Right.
This episode is nothing but like a sampler. It's like you can,
bacon wrapped jalapenos.
Yeah.
Beer
Loaded
cheese.
baked potato skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want the Bavarian pretzels with the beer cheese? Do you want the spinach artichoke dip? You want a couple mozzarella sticks or some crispy boneless wings? Hello,
Yeah.
welcome to Chili's. My name is Brian. Can I get your order?
Not an ad.
Not an ad.
Not a sponsor. But if you own a Chili's,
And would like to.
We are available.
DM us.
And we do, in fact, want our baby back.
Oh, God.
Ribs.
Wow. I was really hoping we wouldn't go there, but here we are.
So the first thing
Malachi just literally pinched me over that.
the first thing that gets set up here
just
for the night is Super Z versus Mount Kadeem in a bull rope match.
Yeah, what the French toast.
That was a lot, man. That's a heavy way to
Seriously?
start hour 2 here.
It's about the heaviest.
Did you? Well, what did you think?
I'm not super big on vegetables, but if I could sum up this match in one word, it would be squash.
I do think that it was a really unfortunate place for Super Z to be put right now.
Yeah, I mean that was like 5 minutes. Kadeem just Hulk smash, and then
And his
4 corners, 1, 2, 3, we're done. That's it.
I can't help also. There was something that just felt a little weird about the pacing at the end of that, and kind of the communication between the ref and Mount Kadeem. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we haven't seen a lot of Mount Kadeem, and we finally, for the first time, kind of saw a little bit of his greenness because he has been kind of so taken care of. But it kind of seemed to me like there might have been something a little funky at the end of that match.
Greenish, so he's like a shrubbery then.
Or a squash.
Okay. All right. Now I got you. All right.
But yeah, Mount Kadeem retains. The second thing that the wheel sets up for us.
Can we take a moment and talk about before we get into more of these matches? Can we talk about the fact that everybody just stays at ringside. Like the Revolution comes out, all the OVW locker room representatives come out, and they just stay at ringside like there's going to be some sort of lumberjack match.
Oh, man, I loved it. It was like Price is Right or something. You got like 4 people in contestants row, and they're spinning this big-ass wheel, and then there's like games and prizes and stuff.
I thought it added energy. What do you think, Jackman?
I think that anything that's a break from the norm is always appreciated in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And there does seem something so dire and so important when you do see the ring surrounded by the wrestlers. But also on top of that, in kayfabe, any one of these guys could be put in a match at any moment. What are they supposed to go do? Go outside? Or go back in the...
They're going to go have a nice coffee.
Yeah, and in kayfabe, any one of them at any moment could get put in a casket match or whatever. So...
Got to be ready.
Got to be ready.
Well, yeah. Sure.
But the second match of the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal segment of the night was Luscious Lawrence versus Tony Gunn in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of those at Hot Point Davis Arena, but I'm glad we did finally get to see one. I'm sure we've seen one.
So this is actually something that I think Mr. Tony Gunn might enjoy doing, because I seem to remember Tony Gunn in the ones that we've seen recently. I seem to remember Tony Gunn being in them.
Yeah.
I think he had one versus Shira not too long ago.
Yeah.
Might be wrong about that. But I do remember seeing Tony Gunn in the Falls Count Anywhere matches. And for a brawler kind of like Tony Gunn, or, that someone who has that ability to be a brawler like Tony Gunn.
That tracks.
That's the Falls Count Anywhere match is great.
Yeah.
Great for him.
And I always love to see foreign objects in Falls Count Anywhere matches, street fight matches, stuff like that. This is the first time I've ever seen whipped cream used as a weapon in a match. And hats off to you, Lush. Good job.
Yeah,
I think that's great. And I know how the people in front of commentary feel about that.
The Chris Runyons of the world.
Yeah.
Luscious is a babyface. Past 2 weeks, loving it. Big babyface energy from him. Hasn't won yet. And that's the best babyface thing you can do is keep losing.
Well, to be fair, he also got whipped cream on referee slow counter Daniel Spencer. So that's kind of a win, right?
Depends on who you ask. For Daniel, mostly.
Certainly a moral victory.
Yeah, it is.
Mostly a win for
We're
Daniel.
proud of you.
And can I tell you how excited I was that they got on the little stage in front of the Tron and wrestled a little bit?
I know you're gonna.
I was sitting with you, and you were...
Yeah, we watched on
You were
television
visibly
together.
upset. Let's be honest. You were visibly upset that you weren't there that night. You went into your room and locked the door, and I heard
There was screaming.
obvious sobbing.
Is this where you said that he threw the chair, like through the window?
He threw a lot of things.
My
I don't
landlord
really
is
want
not pleased with me.
I don't want to get into it.
Neither is PS.
He was visibly upset.
All right.
Whenever
I
this
like
happened.
Davis. I like Hot Point Davis Arena.
Well, who don't?
But
But I also like chairs and sitting and windows and
you've been wanting to see
not
somebody
paying for damages.
You've been
so.
wanting to see somebody get slammed or whatever over there on that thing forever,
Yes.
and you missed it.
I saw it. I watched it on television. But yes, I was just happy to see somebody utilize that space. I like to see people exploring the space.
And this was a whole mess on everybody's friends coming out to defend one another's enemies or whatever, beat up one another's enemies. This thing was just a mess. Tony Gunn does end up maintaining his championship run, though.
Yeah, unfortunately for Luscious Lawrence, it wasn't his night, but it was a hell of a match, though. I'll give you that.
Luscious, man. Past 2 weeks, brother. Seriously.
Crushing
Amazing
it.
work.
Been awesome. Been awesome.
Yeoman's work. Let's move on to the next awesome match, because these were kind of all bangers.
What does that mean?
What?
Yeoman?
Just, I think it's a naval term. It just means you're doing your nice hard work.
It's like, yo, man.
PS is literally typing. He's about to tell me.
Because I only recognize it from Deep Space Nine.
Well, actually, yeomans are in the original series.
Oh, then that's what it is. Yeah, I was thinking. It was one of the ones that we don't watch all the time. It wasn't TNG. But yeah, Kirk will be like, yes, the yeoman, and it's some like Swedish model.
Yes.
Like, yes, yeoman, thank you.
And then she's all bork, bork, bork.
Something
So
like that.
Malachi tells me that on board a ship, they are basically the secretaries. They handle clerical stuff. They talk to civilians, and they're usually young men who are just kind of the face of who are, cute, and they're praised for doing good hard work.
Interesting.
So there you are. That's what a yeoman is. Thank you, P.S. You are full of knowledge.
As unofficial as
Yeoman's
this-
work, P.S. Yeoman's work.
As
Young and
unofficial
cute.
as this is, I came up with a joke in my head while you were giving that explanation that is more unofficial than our unofficial capacity, so I'm going to have to tell that after we're done.
Well, listen, Malachi.
Projectiles are not allowed.
This is a heavy-ass pin. All right. Hey, I'm keeping PG-13. I just need Malachi to know.
In case you're wondering what was going on, P.S. actually threw a pen at Jackman during the
I'm
show.
not sure what prompted it.
Because I called him young and cute. Now keep your other heavy-ass pens over there. Because this will be NC-17. This will be a snuff film.
Easy.
You keep throwing these pins at me, Malachi.
He's not so young anymore.
I don't know, but listen.
He's getting older.
Yeah, but he's not too old for a pair of concrete shoes if you catch my
You
drift.
guys aren't killing my child.
Well, tell him to stop throwing the pens.
Malachi.
My boy's pissed.
Malachi's he's been working on a butt whooping for a while anyway.
Okay, guys, we've lapped the hour. Why don't we move on?
Actually, we just lapped the hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but remember, it took me
60:01,
3 minutes
2,
to get the
3,
stupid
4.
clock working. So
Well, whose fault's that?
mine.
All
I
right.
wasn't trying to say otherwise.
The next Magic stipulation match is Cash Flow and Star Rider. And that would be anybody? Anybody out there at home? No? Going once, twice?
What's the
Tables
question?
match.
Oh, there it is.
For the Rush Division Championship.
For
That
the
would have
Rush
been
Division Championship.
Can I tell you how weird that? I was like, really?
Yeah.
Cash Flow is the Rush Division champion?
That would have been great. I would have not really known how to react.
Well, I mean, he does, he payloads and frog splashes and all kinds of stuff. So,
That's true. He's got moves.
he's got moves.
He's got moves.
Well, yeah.
That wouldn't have been the weirdest championship win of the night anyway.
No, that's still to come, folks. Stay tuned.
That's right. But,
we ever get there.
I mean, this was another mismatch
Yeah.
between OVW and the Revolution. The first one being Super Z versus Mount Kadeem. This one is the shoes on the other foot in this sense, where the Revolution is being represented by Star Rider, and Cash Flow is representing the OVW locker room. I mean, it's for the better part of this match, for the lion's share of this match, Cash was all over it.
Mm-hmm. I think Star Rider likes selling for cash. We
hope he
watched
didn't do it for free.
We watched that match between them a few weeks ago on the Wednesday night
Oh,
thing.
that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a nice viewpoint into where Star Rider's at now. I think Cash was already kind of where Cash was back then. But Star Rider is still, tweaking parts of his game.
It's odd though, because when we went back and watched that was the first time we'd seen Star Rider as a heel, and he's a heel in this match too.
That's true. That's
so
true.
there's that as far as another parallel goes.
So Cash has never been on the heel side of the locker room at the same time as Star Rider, I guess.
As far as we know.
As far as I can guess. I
Yeah,
guess.
as far as I can guess.
I'm sure that the Jasons O'Haras of the worlds
We'll know.
would know. But
Oh, sure. Somebody out there, somebody does for sure.
I'll tell you what did come up a bunch during this match from our good friend and East End villain Josh Ashcraft was the legacy of brutality.
So
right.
I'm just waiting to hear. I'm just waiting for that.
I think is that fair to say this is a done deal?
I mean, you're our most pessimistic panel member here, Jackman. If you think it's happening, then it's probably happening.
I think that we are nearing the end of negotiations, so to speak, and I just think that it's too much for them not to do at this point.
The band is tuning up.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that this whole podcast is here for it.
People will be very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about execution. So we'll see what happens. But I think that it will be a fun time to cover OVW if that's what happens.
Absolutely.
It's already a fun time to cover OVW. That'll just be more funner.
Sure.
So Cash takes a loss here, hoisted upon his own
cheaply.
table. It was definitely a cheap, yeah.
He was on the outside of the ring. He was holding onto the top rope, struggling to stay upright. And Star hits him one time, and boom, there he goes through the table, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Didn't seem too hurt by the table, really, because he was right back up.
Oh, he was right back up and ready to break his foot off in Star's ass. And
I was
very
surprised about that.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, I thought tables packed a little bit more of a punch than that. But, who am I?
Tables don't have hands.
No, they do not.
No, they don't. But at the very, very, very end of the night, we get to the main event with the spin the wheel, make the deal, spin the choice, lose your voice. It is a Texas Tornado match between OVW Tag Team Champions AJZ and this dude I used to work with, Dalton McKenzie, versus Cow Hero and Omar Amir, because Luscious Lawrence already wrestled, and why not? Right? Sure.
So
I thought you were going with like the match game theme.
No, that's the Odd Couple theme. For
yes,
those
it
of
is.
you who don't know.
If you're not receiving AARP magazine, you may be curious to know that once upon a time there was a show called The Odd Couple, but about a guy who was
basically Bert and Ernie. It was
Bert
about
and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie in real life.
It was Bert and Ernie before Bert and Ernie.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
I would say
Human Bert and Ernie.
definitely much before Bert and Ernie. But
I don't think so.
here's kind of my 2 cents on this match. Tornado tag match. AJZ Dalton McKenzie, as you said, versus Omar Amir and Cal Hero. Strange bedfellows, the Odd Couple.
Strange
as
days indeed.
Tiny Brian was alluding to. I think that for where Omar is, I think that Luscious just had to have a couple of good matches to kind of seal himself as a babyface. I think Omar needed to breathe the same air as someone like Cal Hero to fully become a babyface in people's minds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it, because as far as Beaches and Cream go, it's like, that Luscious is a good guy, but every good guy has that one friend that kind of like gets him into trouble a little bit.
I think that could
and I kind of feel like that's what this is.
I think that in kayfabe that could certainly be construed as accurate.
Yeah.
And I think that, he's running with a better click now, and he's with Cal Hero. Do I think that Omar and Cal are just going to be out of the gate buddies? No, I don't at all.
No.
But I do think that there's a lot of interesting things set on the table here with them as tag team partners, because maybe Luscious is jealous. Maybe Omar longs for Luscious. Maybe Cal and Omar aren't just seeing eye to eye on stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we can do here with this Odd Couple pairing.
Uh-huh.
And maybe that would be another really great way to turn Omar babyface, is that same kind of affection, that same kind of broiness that they had for each other as heels, turn it into something more positive in like, oh, I just wish I got to wrestle with my friend. Like, it's nice being champions and all, Cal, but I just want to wrestle with Luscious. Like, and I think it's really close, because I think that that's the type of silliness that they've done as heels, just on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. It's just, this just seems like such a weird ending for the show. Cow Hero and Omar Amir
getting Jack Vaughn.
Yes.
And Jack Vaughn helps.
Yeah, he's the shake and bake, and he helps.
Well, because he really doesn't like Dalton, because Dalton stole his jacket.
Well, yeah, because, that's Dalton, and that's something Dalton would
He's
do.
such a bully.
Who stole Bret Hart's jacket? Rick the Model Martel?
That's probably. I don't know.
Sounds like a reasonable answer.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, but, yeah, I just... It's a weird way to end the night. It's like the day before laundry day and you're just kind of wearing what isn't dirty, or you haven't gone to the store yet, you're going to go tomorrow, so you're going to have like breakfast and chips and salsa for dinner. It's just like, let's just have all these things at the end
like
of the night.
spaghetti, but missing one of the important ingredients.
Like spaghetti, like noodles.
Yeah. It's like noodle. It's like spaghetti sauce, but with macaroni noodles instead.
Yeah, it's like spaghetti. It's like macaroni, spaghetti sauce, and like something for meatballs or something. I don't know.
So the dog's breakfast, basically, just everything that's left.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that there's just a lot of different things that they could do with this. Was it expected?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
There's no way.
This is what Matthew messaged me about later on that night, and I was like, "Wait, what? No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Maybe
knew
I
this
should
one.
walk back this Jay De Niro tattoo now that I'm looking at the ending of this.
Might want to walk that back.
Dude, he's like 6'10", and
There ain't no walking it back from him.
Yeah, there ain't no walking it back. So there you go. There's that.
All right, gentlemen. Any other thoughts on this week's episode?
Yeah.
Other than whatever Jackman's tattoo is going to be? No.
No. We'll
defense
get to that.
rests.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. Your OVW podcast broadcast team is Jackman Oates and Brian Hines. I'm Tiny Brian, your producer. With me, as always, is Malachi P.S. Woodard, our studio engineer. Victor Anderson is our senior producer. Go to the Bourbon Brawl on November 9th.
You better.
Beautiful downtown Paris, Kentucky.
Also
Lovely.
join us on Wednesday for OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. That is live on the OVW YouTube channel at 7 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon.
We're doing 7 p.m. Wednesday evening, Eastern time. We're doing costumes for the first time this week.
Yeah. Halloween decorations go up tomorrow. So
That reminds me, if you guys have a second and don't just bolt as soon as we're off mic, I've got like 5 boxes of Halloween decorations. All of the good crap that you told me to bring from Ohio back when I would do like a dozen pumpkins every year. Mm-hmm. It's all in my car, so we have some work to do.
Fun. All right, so join us next time. Until then, I am Tiny Brian.
And a cat will be here this Wednesday, so definitely tune into the show.
Wait, what?
Cat videos.
My cat will be part of the costume.
What?
Yes.
Shut up.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Yay.